Hey, what is up, heroes? It's that time of year again. Welcome to my top 10 favorite fan games of 2020. As always, these games will be linked in the description down below, so please go check them out. Show them some love, because these games I had an absolute blast playing this year. So as always, a few rules for my top 10. The first being I have to have played and completed, or at least a large portion of the game. I'm not going to recommend something that I haven't played or, I've just put 10 minutes into. I need to have a decent understanding of what the game is before I recommend it. 2, it doesn't matter when the game released. If I played it this year, it can make the list. Whether it was a game that got updated this year or it was released like 10 years ago, it doesn't matter. If I played it this year, it can make the list. And 3, if your favorite game isn't on this list, don't worry. It's most likely because I didn't play it this year. I always get asked, why is this game or that game not on the list? Well, it's because I played it 4 or 5 years ago and I haven't played it since, and maybe if it gets updated or like a few new updates, I might come back to it in the future and it could make a future list. But that way, I do this so the list is always a little bit fresh. Otherwise, you'll probably see the same like fan game every single year. So this way it just makes it a little bit fresher and you get to see some new games. So with all that said, let's jump into this list because this year has been absolutely insane and we've had some bangers. We really have. So starting this list off, we have Pokemon Infinity. You wake up in the middle of the forest with no recollection of who you are. You go on an adventure to try and regain your memory. It's roughly, I think, 2 gyms long when I played it. I don't know if it's been updated since, but it's about 6 to 9 hours long. The game is absolutely beautiful, just all the sprite work and everything. It looks so nice. The UI, amazing, and it's got a bunch of Fakemon in with new Kanto forms. And dude, I would recommend Squirtle, by the way. It looks amazing. It's like the Blastoise, so good. They get new types. There's I think a few new Fakemon added because when I played, I believe one of the gift Pokemon was a Miltank and then it got changed to a Fakemon. But the game, absolute blast to play through. The story's really interesting. Like I mentioned, the sprite work, the game is just beautiful to look at. Everything about it just screams like this is going to be an amazing fan game in the future. I know a lot of people like to wait for games to be finished, but I really cannot recommend this game enough. Just to like give a little taste of it, you think, okay, this game's, gets finished in the future, whatever. Just try it now, and you'll be like, okay, this is a game I'm really looking forward to. I really enjoy my time here. Again, if you guys want to check playthroughs, that all these games I recommend, I've done playthroughs on the channel. You want to check them out. Pokemon Infinity was super awesome. I kind of want to replay it because since when I played it, there was a few updates and they got a few new Fakemon. I think it'd be like a really cool experience to play through again. But yeah, Pokemon Infinity, I definitely cannot recommend enough. Really good fan game. So next up, we have Pokemon Raptor EX. Now this is a very old fan game, but I have to say it holds up. Like when I saw it, I thought, okay, completed fan game. It looks kind of cool. I've never played it before. Came out like 10 years ago. Let's give it a try. And I was honestly really shocked at how good it was. Like compared to some fan games that get released now, I think it still holds up really well. So the story starts off with you and Steven's teaching you about battling, and then eventually you get your starter, you go on a little adventure, and you just basically meet legendary after legendary after legendary. There's an evil team that are trying to collect the Arceus plates, and there's a big twist in it as well, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's actually quite interesting because a lot of the events, I guess, would be heavily inspired by the Pokemon movies. Like you got Ash Ketchum in the game. You go to the Tree of Life where I think it was the 8th movie where Lucario and Mew was, and Lucario uses the aura. You got that sort of a similar story playing in the game as well. And I've got to say, the final boss battle, oh my goodness, it was actually really well thought out. I think I thought it was a good challenge. It was a great idea. I don't want to spoil too much, but the final boss battle, you need to be prepared for it, because if you're not, you could get absolutely destroyed, because it could take quite a while. Me, for like RPGs, I like the boss battles that, you'll be at, fighting for a good like 15-20 minutes, and this is just one of them like battles that you could potentially spend a long time on if you're not fully prepared. But yeah, the game, very long game as well, because it was 10 years old. Like you might be put off because how old it is, because I'm pretty sure it's only generation 1 to 4 Pokemon. You haven't got a lot of the newer mechanics that you see nowadays, but regardless of that, it's still a very decent game. My only gripe with it is the screen size was incredibly small. I couldn't find a way to enlarge it. So what I had to do is literally, when I put it into my recording software screen was a little bit bigger, so I could play off my recording software. So I had to do that. But apart from that, I really enjoyed the game. It gets a little bit difficult and at times hard to grind up. But if you go in a bit prepared, knowing that, it might be a little bit easier. You can go prepared and not just like kind of plow through. Some trainers go, oh, okay, now I'm under leveled because you know, I didn't do some training at certain routes. So take your time, do some grinding, and explore, because there's a lot, and I mean a lot, to do in this game. Next up, we have Pokemon Royal version, which is a relatively new fan game. It is completed, and it was actually quite an interesting story. So basically, you, your brother, and your sister are prince and princesses, and you go on an adventure to become basically the next king of the region. And there's some decent twists in there. You got new form Pokemon, you got some temporal Pokemon. Have to say it now, the Apom/Ambipom, if you see it in the game, trust me, you will want to add it to your team. It is so broken, it was so fun to use. But this game had a really decent, interesting story. The temporal Pokemon were really cool. Got a bunch of side quests. You got generation 1 to 8 Pokemon. Lots of legendaries to catch as well. Pokemon Royal was a really fun adventure, and the region was, I thought, was quite well thought out. But there's one part where you could basically go two ways. You can go like for an icy mountain or like a fiery place. You can go either way you want, which is really cool. I really think you should check out Pokemon Royal. The only gripe with it is the, I don't know if it's been patched since I played it, but when I played it, the Generation 8 Pokemon, they're a little bit blurry or a little bit small. I tried fixing it myself, but I couldn't find any decent Generation 8 sprites. I'm guessing that's probably what the creator had issues with as well. But if you can fix it yourself, because you can just go into the files, you can have a really decent time. But apart from that, man, the game was really cool. Again, got a nice twist in it. I don't want to spoil the twist, but lots to do in this game. And yeah, I've really enjoyed Pokemon Royal, so do go and check it out. Next up, we have Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Now, Infinite Fusion was probably one of my most favorite playthroughs I did this year, just because it was really fun to play, but it was mainly the community of the game made it much more interesting. So obviously you can fuse any two Pokemon together. Some of them look terrible, but some of them look amazing. And the terrible looking ones that are done, I think, through the generator, you got the community actually making proper designs for these fusions, which is great. Like I said at one point, I think during the Elite Four, I was like, oh, it'd be better if this fusion looked like that. And someone actually made it on the Reddit, which was, I was like, oh my god, that actually looks amazing. And you can keep downloading all these sprites, and you can change up the game to get like better fusion, so you don't just see something really terrible looking. Someone can just make a proper detailed fusion of the two. And that's why I think this game is just so good. Like, I thought it was going to be just a typical adventure going through Kanto. It was a little bit different, which is great, because I think going through Kanto so many times it gets a bit tedious. But with the fusions and the extra bit of the story, it was so fun to play through the game again. And I'm pretty sure the community actually like getting requests, so you can actually find a Pokemon that hasn't got a custom fusion, and you can request for it to be for one to be made, and someone can actually make it, which is really awesome. Like, this game is really good, but what makes it better, I've got to say, is the community. The community for this game, absolutely amazing. I'm doing an amazing job with this game, and I honestly think in the future I might come back to it and do a playthrough, just because by the time I want to get back to it, it'll be like maybe like a year or two, and there'll be so many more new fusions to actually, you know, just have fun and play with. So I have to really recommend this game, because it's just a bunch of fun, and just seeing all the fusions, some of them look so stupid, some of them look absolutely amazing, you would wish they were real. Pokemon Infinite Fusion is just a really fun game to play through. So next up we have Pokemon Jaspe, which was a French fan game that got translated to English for its demo, and I gotta say, this game was really cool to play through for many different reasons. First, it was my first ever experience with PSDK, which is the new like tools to make Pokemon fan games, and just seeing the potential of this was absolutely insane. It was just so cool. The game ran so smoothly. The new features, the UI, just looked great. You had like a stamina system in the game as well, which usually I'm not the biggest fan of, but in this game it was manageable. It was actually really nice. And this game has one of my favorite things in fan games, and it doesn't sound that interesting, but I really like it. And that's when a character speaks, you got the text box comes up, and you got a nice little like portrait of the character just behind the text. And you can see like their emotions, or just see what the character looks like in like a nice, better detail than like a little sprite. I love that, and the art for this game, mwah, chef's kiss. Really, really beautiful. The game also has new forms of Pokemon, which just again looks so cool. My personal favorites, I'd probably say the Shinx and the Roselia. They look so cool. The Fakemon, gotta say, I'd probably say like 90% of the Fakemon in this game. The game is currently, I would say, about 4 to 5 hours long. It's currently 2 gyms, and we're waiting for the next chapter to come out. But the game really interesting. There's a bunch of things you can do, and one of the cool features in this game is dungeons. So basically, trainers will, or strong trainers will make these dungeons to find other strong trainers, and you can basically go through. You can do some cool like little puzzles. You can fight some other trainers. It's really interesting and keeps the game fresh. Like whenever you see a dungeon, you're like, yes, let's go. And it's just like it spruces up a route a little bit, which is really, really sweet. And I've got to say as well, the starter Pokemon, I love it when you have to do like a little Q&A, and then depending on your answers, you get that certain starter, and this game has that. So choose carefully. But Pokemon Jaspe, I cannot wait for this game to be finished, because everything about it just screams it's gonna be an absolute banger when it's completed. But yeah, check out Pokemon Jaspe. I'll link it down below. So next up we have Pokemon Daybreak, which was a fan game that just came out of nowhere, I feel like, and it was so fun to play through. It has 10 gyms, Elite Four, a champion, and a little bit of post game. It's roughly, I'd say, about 15 to 16 hours it would take to complete. But the story was really interesting. Again, I'm not going to spoil too much, but there's some twists. But basically, a meteor crashes down, and you go investigate it. You find the evil team, and you work with the professor, and you basically try and solve the mystery behind that. Again, don't want to get into too much detail, but the game has some really awesome regional variants, like a Dark Fire Greninja, which looks so cool, a Fairy Dragon Garchomp that looks so cool as well, some custom Megas as well. I really like it when games make custom Megas, because Mega Revolution, I much prefer Mega Revolution over Z moves and Dynamax, and just seeing some more custom Megas in games is always nice. The game also has something called Dualions, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, where you can mix 2 evolutions together to make like a combined type and like a new species, which looks really sweet. Unfortunately, when I played, a Sylveon mix wasn't available, so unless the game's been updated and you can now get you can mix a evolution with Sylveon, don't pick Sylveon, because you want to get a Dualion, which is a little bit unfortunate. But the game was super interesting to play through, and it was really cool having like going into a route, open up your menu, and be able to see what Pokemon you can capture on each route. Just made the game a bit more fun instead of going through the grass going, oh, okay, what can I find? And eventually, because the Pokemon's got a low spawn rate, you might not find it. I was lucky enough to know there was a Froakie in the early routes. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll try a Froakie, and then I'll find the new regional variant Froakie. I was like, oh yes, that's so sweet. Like having a little feature like that, so awesome. The game, well, the game does say it focuses on storytelling and challenging gameplay. I'm not the best battler out there. I just prefer really good storytelling, and I managed to get through the game, but it was a little bit challenging. So if you're looking for something that has a bit of challenge to it, this is definitely something that you can definitely enjoy. But if I can get through it, then you're definitely going to be able to get through it, honestly. The game also features like many optional areas where you can complete some side quests and get some rare items and Pokemon. One big tip I can definitely give for this game is explore a lot, because you can find a lot of free stuff, and sometimes the game isn't exactly clear on where to go. I would say at roughly around the 6 to 8 gym mark, because I had comments telling me I don't know where to go, what way should I go, and I was just exploring. I ended up finding the right way to go. So do explore, talk to everyone, because there's going to be some bits you need to actually pay attention to the story. You can't just go in a straight line and end up, you know, finding the right way to go. It'll be a good idea to actually, you know, read what's being said and whatnot. But Pokemon Daybreak was so sweet, and I hope you guys enjoy the game. And if you do get a really cool like new team with custom forms and variants, let me know, like send me a screenshot on Twitter of like your Hall of Fame, because I would really be interested to see what you guys use. So next up we have Pokemon Jade, which just recently finished their game. So 8 gyms, Elite Four and Champion completed, a little bit of post game with the Battle Gauntlet, and you can fight the developers. But Pokemon Jade was a really just satisfying game to play through. So to complete Fakemon Pokédex, which I would say I really enjoyed, like I'd say 90% of the Fakemon. Just I don't like the bugs, man. I hate bug Pokemon in general. I hate bugs in real life. Just I hate it so much. And some of the bugs in this game just it made me just creep out a little bit. But apart from that, this game made me want to change my team up so much. There was some really cool design Pokemon. The typings were really cool, and the story for this game really sweet as well. Basically, you got an evil team, Team Wild, and there's a massive like mystery around the region, and they want to basically I guess solve the riddle and then do some evil things. I don't want to spoil too much because it's a really cool story, but the areas you get to explore are really sweet. The rivals in this game really cool. Like Pokemon Jade, I cannot recommend enough. Like just all the things you can do with it, so sweet. The only thing I wish about this game was the HMs you didn't have to teach to your Pokemon, because there was times like, okay, I got my Pokemon, I want to keep these, and I was like, oh, I gotta teach some HMs to get through this part, and I really didn't want to, because I'm not someone that likes to make a HM slave run to the box just to get through an area. I just like to keep my team, you know. And I will say, there's a lot of Fakemon I did like. I have to recommend Stu Rhino. I think you get it roughly around like the 4th, 5th gym badge, but put that bad boy onto your team. He is an absolute unit. So fun to use. He carried me through so much. Love Stu Rhino. Such a good Pokemon. But Pokemon Jade, I really recommend checking this game out. I think you can probably finish it in about 18 to 20 hours it took me. But there's a lot of like content here, a lot of little quests you can do. The game really interesting, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Again, let me know if you do complete the game. Show me your Hall of Fame. I want to see your guys' Hall of Fame. Just send me like a screenshot on Twitter or something, because this game had so many Fakemon I wanted to use, and I want to play through the game again just to try some different Pokemon, because they were so cool. But I'm just interested to see what kind of Pokemon people use, because like I said, I liked a lot of them. Alright, so for number 3 we have Pokemon Empyrean, which I'm pretty sure has been on this list the past 2 years, but this year at the start of it we saw the game be completed, and oh my goodness, the story was absolutely insane. The Elite Four champion was just, it was a challenge. It really was a challenge. The game, I think I've said so much about this game before, it's just so much content in this game. All the Fakemon look amazing, the regional designs, the fake Mega Evolutions, the story, just everything about this game, I absolutely love it. It is 100% still one of my favorite fan games out there, and I'm gonna replay through the game at some point just to experience it again, because when I first played it, it was in alpha, and then I kept playing through the updates and some stuff changed. I want to just experience it from start to finish again. But Pokemon Empyrean, just, I think it changed the game a little bit, honestly. There was just so many cool little features added to it, and the boss battles, oh my goodness, the boss battles were so difficult but so fun. Like I mentioned before with like Raptor, I like it when you battle a boss and it takes, you know, 10-15 minutes to beat. This game, oh my goodness, some of them, not gonna lie, a little bit frustrating, but the satisfaction of beating these bosses, oh man, it was just so good. There's lots of like references to different things in this game. Like, I haven't seen JoJo, I've only seen the first like 3 episodes, but there's a Pokemon reference, I think a legendary Pokemon reference in JoJo, and then there's a move called the World, which I think is a reference to JoJo, which again I haven't seen, but there's a lot of cool things in this game you should really check out. So next up we have Pokemon Legends of the Arena. This year this game got finished, and just wow. It is honestly one of the best fan games I have ever played. I've really enjoyed this game. I've tried recording this part multiple times, but I end up just like repeating myself and just like stuttering and just trying to get out everything I can about this game. But I think I just got to simply say, this is some of the best storytelling in any fan game I've played. It's really well written, It's my sense of humor as well. Like, a lot of the jokes in this game just made me laugh so much. I really enjoyed it. The game basically starts off, you're in a small town and a tournament starts up. You enter the tournament, then you go to the next city, do the next stage, and it starts like a knockout tournament. So like each city you go to, as you progress, there's gonna be less and less people in the tournament. But some of these characters in the tournament you'll meet have their own little like story you'll kind of like get kind of involved in, and it's so interesting. And it just made me love like so many different characters. It made me ship 2 characters together. I don't want to spoil too much, but it was really good. And it had a side quest which was easily one of the best side quests I've ever done in a game. It was so funny, just so well written. This game also has multiple endings. There's like a true ending, like a good ending, I guess bad ending. You can potentially get like all 3 endings like I did. So I think I got the good ending and then I got the true ending, I think I did. But there are ways, I don't want to spoil how you can do it, but just if you do a side quest I mentioned, you know, you'll know the side quest when you do it, then you can potentially go and see that person to potentially get different endings. But instead of like repeating myself over and over, I just want to say this game, really well written. The story will just keep you playing and playing and playing. Like, Legends of the Arena is a game I just think everyone should play, or at least just try. It was just really good game, honestly. And I hope one day we get a sequel. Again, I don't want to spoil anything because I'm saying there's a sequel, but there potentially could be a sequel. But yeah, just play Legends of the Arena, please. Just, if you got some spare time, do me a favor and play this game. Like, I think you would really enjoy it. So next up, this is kind of a cop-out. It's not really a top 10 anymore. This is more of like a lot of Pokemon fan games. But I want to just slot in before we get to like my favorite fan game this year, and that is the Relic Castle Game Jams. So you're probably wondering what I mean by Relic Castle Game Jams. Well, the past couple of years there's been a little game jam where some people will make a game in a short amount of time. Usually, I think it's 6 to 8 weeks. Not a lot of time to make a game. However, these game jams have produced some really amazing games, and I just couldn't pick 1 or 2. There were so many I really enjoyed this year, like Parallax, The Ghost of Knowledge, Vanishing Point, The Giant Torterra, Diamond and Pearl Empyrean episode. There were so many games made that I just had to try and fit them all in. So I'm going to try and link all the games in one little like batch, so you can just experience all these games, because they're quite short. Like, usually each of these games is anywhere between like 30 minutes to 4 hours. But honestly, there are some like really good games here, and a lot of people probably wouldn't play it because they're short games, or they're only made in a short amount of time. You probably think they're not that great, but honestly, some of these games rival like completed big fan games out there. They are really that good. They are just so interesting, really well written, and a lot of work actually does go into these games. I don't think a lot of people know that, and I just gotta put it out there because these games are really good. And I haven't even played all of them, because I think this year, this August, like 27 fan games were made for the Relic Castle Game Jam. That's insane, 27 games. I think I've probably played about 10, if that, and there's still so many more I want to play, which you'll be seeing playthroughs on the channel in the future. But do try them all out, because they are just, like, a lot of people put a lot of work into these, and they are really good. Really good. So please just go and check them out, honestly. So, my favorite fan game this year, Pokemon Desolation. I played this game I think like 2 years ago, and when I finished it I was like, oh wow, that was so good. And I got told that this game was basically pretty much cancelled, like there was like no updates to it, and I got really sad. And then just out of nowhere, bam, it's back, had some updates, a new episode to play through, and oh boy, it was insane. So if you like your hard games like Reborn, Rejuvenation, this game is similar to those, but I don't think it's as hard. There are some very hard battles in it, but they are manageable. Like I always say, I'm not the best battler. I'm really not. I don't really care about like natures, IVs, EVs. I really should probably in these games, but catch Pokemon I like the look of and I use them, and if I can win battles doing that, then honestly so can you. But this is a game that has lots of like multiple choices you can choose. Like you can gain like friendship with certain characters, and you need to make the right decision, and it involves a lot of backtracking you can do as well. Like not to spoil too much, but there's a character where you meet really high up. Well, I say you meet her, you see something that happens really high up. She drops her bow, and if you go back down to the bottom, you can pick up her bow, which will take part like in a later part of the story, be really integral by the way. And like if you don't do something, the story might change later on. When I played, I almost got the perfect ending, but I need to go back because I'm going to go and I want to try and perfect this game because I'm just enjoying it so much. I'm trying to do all the side quests. Like usually there's some times where I play a game and I'm like, okay, I've done enough side quests now, I'm getting bored of side quests, I want to do the main story. But this game, I'm just like, okay, there's 50 side quests to do, I'm on it, I'm doing it. I don't know what it is about this game. I think it's the characters, I think it's the story, just how there's different multiple options, the cool custom like megas. Again, not going to spoil too much with that. The story was just, it was really, really good. And I don't know how to really explain this game too much without spoiling it, like story-wise. But I think one good way to maybe put it is, if you've seen Inception, the movie, kind of like that a little bit. Just like how Inception can mess with your mind, this game can mess with your mind a little bit as well. And there's like, not just like a bad guy, there's like bad guys, more bad guys, another bad guys, but are they bad? You don't know. There's good guys, but it's just a lot with this game. And I honestly, the second, like, usually I go, oh, when a game gets updated, if I got time, I will play it. Literally, if this game gets updated, I am dropping everything. If like new Pokemon game came out, like Diamond and Pearl remakes, just said we got that in 2021, I would easily drop them games for this. This is up there with one of my favorite fan games ever. And I love this game so much, and I really, really hope we get updates in 2021 for this game. Like, I'm fine with waiting, honestly, but dude, it's just the way they ended episode 5, which is at this point recording the current episode. I was just shocked at what happened, and I need to go back and reload my save to get the perfect ending, so I want to know what happens. But oh, dude, it was just so good. I don't want to spoil it, but this is a game, like I said, like Legend of the Arena, everyone has to try this game out. It was so good, and I want more. I want more now, dude. I love this game so much. Anyway, yeah. So there we have it, my not really top 10, but top 10 favorite fan games of 2020. There was some fan games that are coming out kind of at the end of December, but I'm taking a little break at the end of December, so I'm not going to be able to play them until 2021. But maybe they'll make that list if they are pretty good, most likely. But because they look really cool. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I will catch you guys next year for the top 10 best fan games of 2021. Look out for the top 10 best ROM hacks of 2020 coming very soon. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day. Peace.